Hello again, John Sintras, Starcom Mediavest Group, back at Festival of Media, and now I have Pete Beeney from Spotify. Thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon. So Spotify, a relatively new client with Starcom that we all are excited about and love working with, but what are you finding clients and agencies are most excited about with Spotify? Why is it such a platform that people want to be engaging with?
Well, I think it's back to a universal, really. And music has been a huge passion point for consumers for a great many years, and we are just a new way of delivering that content that people have been passionate about for decades, but just doing it in a new way. And I think the brands are very, very excited about being part of the way that consumers engage with music. And that runs through the way that brands have been speaking to consumers for a very long time. But we marry that with the way that social media can be part of that, that interaction between music and the consumer. I think that's really an interesting place for brands, and the learning around how you can really, really tap into people's love of music in a way which is going to amplify the brand.
So for those not familiar with the platform, what is the core innovation, you've just touched on it briefly, that you've brought to music that's really taken it to another level?
Well, I think it's really our ability to be able to navigate licensing to such a degree that we have changed the business model of the way people listen to music from being about ownership of content. So you actually having a hard drive that's full of files which are your music collection, to being able to have access to that content. So having the world's music library at your disposal at any time, and being able to listen to almost any recorded musical work, rather than it being a very, very strictly defined music collection that belongs to you.
So just one last question around innovation. Clearly innovation is core to your company creation and platform. What do you do to foster that culture now? Is that something you actively do? How do you encourage people to be innovative at Spotify?
I think it's about making sure that all the parts that make Spotify successful can speak to one another. So the internal communication, and making sure that we are always thinking about how can this experience be better. And I think there is one thing being able to provide content, this huge library of content to our listeners, but it's a whole different story. How do you navigate that? And I think we will never be satisfied with the way that's being done. That always needs to be optimized, and we're always fostering the concept that it can be made better, that everything about Spotify as a product and as a platform can be improved. And I think that is core to our ability to succeed and to innovate.